Nobody told me that cardio is the worst thing a firefighter can do for fat loss, and if you're a full-time firefighter, you know that shift life and 6 calls after midnight make it hard enough as it is. But I was able to drop 25 pounds in a matter of 16 weeks working full-time at a busy career department, and I was able to do it with no emphasis on cardio. And you know what the crazy thing is? My bottle time actually got better without it. So in this video, I'm going to break down how I dropped the fat without the cardio, but I'm also going to explain the 3 things I replaced it with so that you can do the same. Now, before I get to that, we need to understand why cardio is setting you back from fat loss goals in the first place if you're a career firefighter, because once you see what it's actually doing to your body on shift, the rest of this video is gonna make a lot more sense. Now, here's the thing. From early on, cardio gets drilled into our brains as the pinnacle of firefighter performance. I mean, run more, push harder. But what if cardio is the exact thing that's holding you back from losing fat? And here's the question that's really worth sitting with. Would your cardio improve more from doing more, or would it improve from carrying less weight while you're doing it? Because what nobody taught me in the academy or anywhere else for that matter was that your body barely burns any fat during high intensity cardio. It almost completely runs solely on glucose to support that kind of activity. So if fat loss is the goal, then we're working hard and getting the wrong result. And on top of that, doing cardio every day, at least for me, was freaking exhausting. So it was just piling more stress onto a nervous system that was already in overdrive from working full-time in the fire service. Now, think about this for just a second, because I bet you've seen it. Think about the people who only run or only do the elliptical. They might lose weight, but if you look closely, it isn't fat they're losing, it's muscle. They hold on to the fat and they drop the muscle, which is the exact opposite of what we're going for. And that's what they call skinny fat, and it's the opposite of body recomposition. It wasn't until I realized that what the academy prioritized wasn't really designed for changing my body composition that anything shifted for me. All it really taught me was how to endure suffering. So I went back to the drawing board and I realized something. How you train to live as a firefighter is completely different from how you train to become one, which meant leaving those methods behind. I stopped training for an academy I'd already passed, and I focused on the 2 types of activity that actually moved the needle for fat loss, which was weightlifting and walking. Done the right way, and I'll get to that exact method in just a moment, but that kept my heart rate and stress level at a moderate pace where my body could actually use fat as a fuel source instead of leaning on glucose. When I made that switch, I had more energy, more follow through, and dropped 2 pounds a week consistently for 16 weeks. And because of that, I doubled my bottle time without adding a single cardio session because I wasn't carrying around the extra body tissue my heart had to work to perfuse. A good example of this outside my own experience is Kyle. Kyle liked to go 100 miles an hour in everything he did. I'm talking gear workouts, HIIT training daily, all of it. But he got stuck. And more than that, he got injured. We replaced all the cardio with walking and weightlifting, and he lost 40 pounds in 90 days and 140 pounds over the course of 18 months. If you want the exact protocols Kyle used to start that transformation, they're listed for free in the description. So now you know why cardio is working against you, but the next question is, what kind of training actually replaces it? Because this is where most firefighters get it wrong and end up back at square one. And here's a hint. It's not CrossFit. It's not bodybuilding. It's not even powerlifting. None of those are going to train you for the job or keep you injury-free long-term. So what's the point of doing them in the first place? And here's the thing. I tried all of them. CrossFit is just cardio in disguise. Bodybuilding takes up 12 hours a week minimum, and powerlifting has a risk to reward ratio that doesn't make sense if you want to be doing this job for the next 20 years. I ran into problems with all of them, and I either ended up hurt or I was trading hours in the gym for the things that actually made life worth living, like being present with my family. So what's the answer? Training for mobility and longevity more than anything else. I'm talking full body workouts that let you recover properly so you can actually show up for the job. My solution to both the time problem and the injury problem was to make the training as efficient as possible, which meant 2 full body days a week. And I didn't just pick random exercises either. I looked at the most common injuries in the fire service, which were ankles, knees, low back, and shoulders. And I bet you can name a firefighter with a problem in every single one of those areas if you really thought about it. So I built the training around protecting those spots. Exercises like sissy squats, shoulder press, Cossack squats, and knee over toe lunges to build up the areas most likely to break down on the job. I decided to play the odds, and not only did I get in the best shape of my life doing this way more than when I was training 6 days a week, but each session only took 40 minutes. Now, you might be skeptical, and honestly, I get it. This isn't the philosophy that you usually hear in the fire service. Most people are gonna tell you that you're not doing enough. And in fact, that's exactly what my client Raquel believed when she came to me. She was doing HIIT training for 4 to 5 times a week and had nothing to show for it. She trusted the process, and we put her on this exact strategy, and she lost 30 pounds in her first 90 days, and she's only 5'1". Now, the last piece here is what most firefighters miss when they fix their training, but their nutrition is still running the show. And if you don't get that right, well, the training might as well not even be there in the first place. And the truth is, when I was a firefighter, I didn't fully appreciate that nutrition was actually responsible for over 80% of the progress I was making with fat loss. The thing is, you simply can't outwork a bad diet, but even knowing what you should do isn't enough if you haven't set yourself up to actually follow through on shift. Think about this. You're on shift, it's early in the morning, and you get toned out for a working structure fire, like the one I ran at a place called Industrial Steel. We were the first ones there, first thing in the morning, for about 3 hours. By the time the crew packed up the hose, got back to the station, and cleaned everything, everyone was so hungry we couldn't think straight. There was no conversation about prepping a balanced meal. It was Detroit-style pizza, baby. And that's not a character flaw, that's just how the body works when you've been running hard on nothing. It takes over. Now, we can't control when a fire comes in, but we can control how often we're replicating that same starving stimulus in our own lives. So we're not constantly arriving at those moments already running on empty. And that's where a simple shift-proof nutrition strategy comes in. When I was on shift, I didn't need complex macro equations or a perfect diet. I needed something fast, flexible, and easy to follow no matter what the day threw at me. So I narrowed it down to the 2 things that matter most, which were protein and calories, and I let the rest fall where it may. For fat loss calories, I ate at my goal body weight multiplied by 12 to 13, and for protein, I ate at my goal body weight multiplied by 0.75 grams, which was clean, simple, easy to follow on shift, and even easier to follow at home. And I want to make this clear, this is a moderate deficit on purpose because firefighting is high intensity and requires real energy. So take the long road, because in this case, the long road is actually faster because you don't have to keep starting over again and again and again. Now, if you're looking at those numbers and thinking there's just no way, that's too many calories to lose weight, well, that was Gail's reaction too, but his challenge was that he had done programs before and just couldn't stick to them because they were too extreme. That cycle of starting and stopping, even in the moments where he lost a little weight, cost him way more in the long run. We took this moderate approach to nutrition, pulled out the cardio, and he lost 20 pounds and has kept it off ever since. All right, quick recap. Cardio is working against your fat loss because your body runs on glucose during high intensity effort, not fat. The fix is lifting and walking done with full body training twice a week, built around protecting the joints the job destroys most. And the nutrition strategy that ties it all together is simple. It's your goal body weight multiplied by 12 to 13 for calories, and your goal body weight multiplied by 0.75 for protein. Now, if you want help applying a full system like this to your schedule and your station life, that's what I do. I've coached over 1,000 career firefighters to drop 20 to 40 pounds, rebuild their energy, and get their performance back without living in the gym or torching their recovery in the process. If you want to see a full breakdown, including a video describing the program, hit the one-on-one coaching link in the description. Now, what we didn't cover today is the deeper side of the training, because pulling out the cardio is one thing, but there's a specific way to structure the lifting and walking so it works around your shift schedule without breaking your body down in the process. If you want to see exactly how that works, it's in this video right here. Remember, being in shape is part of the uniform. I'll see you in the next one.